Hello there. The central bank digital currency matrix is being formed around us right now, and most people will grow to just accept it. Just about every central bank in the world has advanced plans for a central bank digital currency, a CBDC. And the further I go into this, the darker it gets. Just last month, Reuters reported that about 130 countries were exploring the use of a CBDC. And those 130 countries make up 98% of the global economy, with the report saying 11 countries, including a number in the Caribbean and Nigeria, have already launched central bank digital currencies as they are known, while pilot testing in China now reaches 260 million people and covers 200 scenarios from e-commerce to government stimulus payments. And this is coming to the rest of us, and is coming fast. This is being pushed worldwide at a national and international level, with virtually no one complaining. And we also have plans in the UK for a CBDC, dubbed Britcoin. But it's not just the fact that this will worryingly accelerate the dawn of a cashless society where individuals are totally dependent on the state to be able to buy and sell. It is also the way these CBDCs will be implemented. And this revolves around what is known as the token economy, or tokenomics as it's known. Remember those terms, as they are about to become central to your lives going forwards. What this means is that all the money you have will be represented by tokens in one big centralized database. And that database is referred to as the unified ledger. And every central bank will have one. But further, every time you purchase an asset, such as a car, a house or shares, they will be tokenized and also placed on the unified register against your name. In fact, to make sure you don't bypass the unified register, you will not legally own any money or any asset until it is registered under your name in the unified register. And getting this data will be very easy, as the job is already half done. Because just about all property is registered with the land registry, and that could be imported directly into the unified register. Ditto vehicle data held by the DVLA, and all that banking information, investments, shares, bonds, loans and mortgages, all those records too. And it could come to pass that every time you do use what cash is left in society, you have to identify yourself by some means, and the cash is scanned by its unique banknote number into the unified register when you spend it. And there are plans that while the individual central banks are gearing this up, the Bank of International Settlements, the BIS, which is the central bank to all the other central banks, the BIS will be putting in place a system whereby central banks can share all that unified register information between themselves. And to do that would require a fully compatible system sharing the same sort and level of information. Now, some people will state they'll never agree to this and won't use it. But most people will, because the system will be fast and effortless for the user. Want to travel? Get your flights, hotel, currency, and even get a visa? Then the unified register is there to help, we will be told. And it will be more secure. Yes, we'll be told it's all anonymized and no one will ever be able to hack its blockchain systems, and the state will never interfere. And then we come on to claims that it will help eradicate most crimes. For example, would anyone who dabbles in illicit white powder want that appearing on the unified register? No, they'll need to use something like cash, gold or silver maybe. But all that will be registered in their name, or it won't legally exist on the Unified Register and can't be used within the economy. And whichever route they do use, the person selling the substance to them will need to convert that cash, gold or silver that was used to purchase it back into something they can place on the Unified Register so that they can buy food in a supermarket. Because if they try to spend cash that is still registered under your name or no name at all, it will flag up something anomalous for the authorities to look into. The aim is, after all, to make money laundering as hard as possible, if not impossible. Everything will be hoovered up in time into the Unified Register. And it is this that many people will welcome, as the underground economy is strangled out of existence and the English Channel sees a huge reduction in the number of boat crossings. What a boon the CBDC system is, we'll be told. And nothing to hide, nothing to fear will be pushed like mad. And as AI kicks in and the system becomes more mature and politicians pass ever more laws, the Unified Register will grow exponentially with ever more information being held about every individual. It will be a huge set of power-hungry server farms across the country with at least 2 backup systems. And knowing the UK government, it would probably be outsourced to China or India. And the whole plan is to tokenize everything in real life and replicate it exactly within the Unified Register, a carbon copy of real life, including all our character flaws and physical shortcomings. For example, it would end up tracking you and your vehicle use, if you could afford one, that is. Purely for safety reasons, of course. But it would use that driving data, i.e. your speeding habits, to determine how much it would cost you personally to hire a new vehicle. In fact, you could end up being fined for speeding with absolutely no input from the police. Now, it's this crime angle that got me really thinking, because we all realise that this system will at some stage incorporate social credit and carbon credit components, with your behaviour and ideas that the machine perceives you to hold being central to how, where and when you are able to spend your portion of what is now the state's money. Yes, that's right, it will no longer be your money, it will be the state's money to control, as directed by faceless bureaucrats or even AI algorithms. But, and here's the stinger, there are people out there, many of them in very powerful and wealthy positions, who indulge in illegal activities, partaking in illicit substances being one of them. Then there's the seedier side of life, where people, including the odd high-profile BBC personality, pay for personal services, some of which are extremely nasty and highly illegal. Those powerful people will not want to stop what they are doing, will they? And any attempt to bypass or fiddle the Unified Register could backfire on them. So what do they do about that? Well, they do exactly what they are doing right now, getting the law changed to legalise it all prior to social credit scores coming into force. So that way, they need never fear those entries going into the Unified Register. They can pay for them openly and directly. And if they can get them not only decriminalised, but also completely normalised, and even regarded by the system as a social good, then those activities can be rewarded by the system at the expense of those who do not indulge. Just think about where that will lead. The tokenisation of vulnerable children, for example. Look at what schools are doing behind parents' backs right now, today. Can you imagine being denied a visa to enter a country for a holiday because you protested against this? only to see someone who indulges in it swanning happily off around the world, rewarded with cheap tickets at your expense. And the size of that particularly evil trade is about to surpass the drugs trade. So the US box office hit film The Sound of Freedom comes at a very timely point in our history, as it is a film that those involved in this vile trade want to see buried. And I'll leave you with a song written and performed by Richard on all of this. Over to the all-singing eye.
A child somewhere, tonight she cries, stolen from her mother's arms at night. This is the hill worth dying on. God's children you shall not sell. Infants living in a living hell. This is the hill worth dying on. Angels come forth and bring them home. Mothers and fathers have waited too long.